Hello students, hope you all are doing great. I'm Achal Chaudhary, working as an assistant professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. So I'm a faculty from BBA department. So I'm back with my lecture series of income tax. So in previous lecture we have started the unit 3 and today I'll continue with the unit 3, that is your income from capital gains. So it's a lecture number 2 from unit 3. So students, before moving on, let me tell you I have uploaded a one lecture number 1 from unit 3 that is uploaded on the channel. So I request you all, if you haven't watched that video, so please first of all you have to watch that video, otherwise you will not understand today's lecture, because in that video I have covered all the theory portion of income from capital gains and what are the exemptions available. So those things I have discussed in previous lecture. So today we will continue with our lecture number 2 from unit 3, that is income from capital gains. So today I will discuss the some like remaining portion, that is your format, and I will also share some numericals with you. So I hope you will understand today's lecture and you will get to know how we will calculate the income from capital gains. So stay tuned. Let us start with our lecture number 2. So first of all, let's start with the performer. Performer for the computation of income under the capital gains. So first is your short-term capital assets. So how you have to calculate it? First of all, you have to write down the full value of consideration received, or the sale amount, which is the selling amount. First of all, you have to write it down. Then you have to deduct the expenditures. Expenditures like brokerage on sale. If there is any kind of expenses which is incurred wholly or exclusively in connection with such transfer, please note the word it. This expenditure should be incurred while transferring of the asset, so that will be deducted here. Then after that we will get the net sale consideration, and out of which we have to deduct the value of cost of acquisition and cost of improvement. So both of these will be given in your question only, so you have to just write it down here. So cost of acquisition is the purchasing amount, and cost of improvement is like if there is any kind of maintenance charges or any kind of sort of things which are done on the improvement of that particular assets. So these both will be deducted here, and after that you will get the short-term capital gain. And if there is any kind of exemptions which are available under the 54B and 54D, so those will be deducted from the short-term capital gain, and after doing all these we will get the taxable amount of short-term capital gain. So in previous lecture I have told you, I have given you the notes regarding the exemptions which are available under the head. Next is your computation of long-term capital assets. So first of all, you have to write down the selling value, full value of consideration received. So first of all, you have to write it down. Then you have to deduct the expenditures which has been incurred on the transfer of that particular assets, such as brokerage on sale. So that amount will be deducted from the sales consideration amount. Then after deducting it, you will get the net sale consideration. And from that, you have to deduct the indexed cost of acquisition. Students, as you can see here, the first of all, we have to calculate the indexed cost of acquisition. But in short term, what we have to just deduct down that cost of acquisition. So here we are computing the index cost of acquisition. How we will calculate it? Cost of acquisition into cost of inflation index for the year in which the asset is transferred upon cost of inflation index for the year in which the asset was first held by the SEC, whichever is later. So this is how we will get the indexed cost of acquisition. And one more thing, in your question it will be mentioned there like what are the indexed cost of inflation for the particular year. Suppose if any asset was acquired in 2001 and 2, so the index cost will be given for that particular asset. And when the that particular assets is transferred or converted into some kind of stock in trade, so that amount, that index cost amount will also be given there. Then we will deduct the index cost of improvement. So same like cost of improvement into cost of indexed improvement index amount for the year in which the asset is transferred upon cost of index inflation for the year in which the improvement took place. So this is how we will calculate both the amounts. So after deducting both of these, we will get the long-term capital gains. And from that, we have to deduct the exemptions amount which are available under the section 54, 54B, 54D, 54EC, 54EE, and 54F. So for that you have to refer that particular exemption table which I have shared with you. So after doing this, we will get the taxable amount from long-term capital gains. So this is how we have to calculate both the amounts under the head income from capital gains. Next is your what are the conditions which we have to fulfill for the exemptions under long-term capital gain investment. So what are the conditions for particularly investing? So if we want to invest some long-term capital gains into particular any kind of units, so for the purpose of exemptions, so what will be the conditions? First is investment should be done in the specified unit funds only, which has been mentioned under the head. Next is investment should be done within 6 months from the date of transfer. So investment, if you are going for any kind of investment, so you have to do that in within 6 months. Next is your the maximum amount of investment should be 50 lakh. It should not be exceeding that. And if it is exceeding, then you will get a exemption up to 50 lakh only. Next is your units should not be transferred for a period of 3 years. So those units which you are going to invest in, so that should not be transferred for a period of 3 years. What are the rates of tax on short-term capital gains? So short-term capital gains which are arising on transfer of listed equity shares, units of equity shares oriented fund, and unit of business trust, that should be taxed at the rate of 15%. And second is short-term capital gains which are arising from the transaction undertaken in foreign currency. So that will be taxed at a concessional rate of 15%. So both of these conditions are mentioned under the section 111 subsection A. So please note down students, if a short-term capital gains is arising on transfer of other short-term capital asset, that would be chargeable at the normal rates of tax. Next is your rate of tax on long-term capital gains. So under section 112, following conditions are mentioned. Tax rate at the 10% on long-term capital gains if it is exceeding rupees 1 lakh on the transfer of those capital assets. Second, if such transaction undertaken on a recognized stock exchange located in a international financial services center, then LTCG would be taxable at a concessional rate of 10%. Next is your when there is unlisted securities or shares of a closely held company, then in that case, non-corporate, non-resident, or any kind of foreign company that will be taxable at the rate of 10% without the benefit of indexation and currency fluctuation. And if there is any other SSC mentioned before, so the rate of tax will be 20% with the indexation benefit. And in case of listed securities or a zero coupon bond, then rate of tax will be 10% without the benefit of indexation and 20% availing the benefit of indexation, whichever is more beneficial to SSC. So here we will consider the benefit for the SSC. And in any other case, in any other assets, the rate of tax will be 20%. For better understanding, let's see an example. A is the owner of the car. On 1st April 2019, he starts a business of purchase and sale of motor car. He treats the above car as part of the stock in trade of his new business. He sells the same on 31st March 2020 and gets a profit of rupees 1 lakh. Discuss the tax implication under the capital gains. So as mentioned in the very first line that A is the owner of the car. So that car is his personal asset. So since car is a personal asset, the conversion or treatment of same car as a stock in trade will not be considered. So it will not be taxable under the capital gains as it is a personal assets of that person, particularly Mr. A. Students, as I said earlier, that I am going to share some cost inflation index with you. So here are the list. So please go through it. But in case if there is a question regarding the long-term capital gains, then it is for sure that in question you will get these inflation index. But for your reference, I am sharing the list with you. So cost inflation indices for the financial year 2001-2 is 100. For 2002-3 is 105 and so on. So for 2018-19 it's 280. For 2019-20 there is no a cost or inflation index has been notified yet. So there is no information regarding 2019-20. So in question they will not ask regarding the 2019-20 as it is not notified till yet. So don't worry about it that what if a question says about the 2019-20. Don't worry at all. So they will not be related to the 2019-20. I have shared a proper format with you regarding the long-term and short-term capital gains. But you can't understand the concept until unless you solve some numericals. So let's solve a numerical. First of all, let's solve a numerical for the long-term capital gains. Please read down the question. Mr. A converts his capital assets acquired for an amount of rupees 50,000 in June 2003 into stock in trade in the month of November 2016. It is converted in November 2016. The fair market value of the asset on the date of conversion is rupees 4,50,000. The stock in trade was sold for an amount of rupees 6,50,000 in the month of September 2019. So what will be the tax treatment? So here in the question it is mentioned that Cost inflation index for 2003 and 4 is 109, and for 16-17 it's 264. So as I told you that there will be an inflation rate given in the question itself. So here is the rate. So I hope you can solve this question. First of all, the like cost of acquisition 50,000 is given to you. So by the help of it, you can convert it into index cost of acquisition, right? Try to solve it in your notebooks, please. And sale of proceeds and sale proceeding is also given to you. So it is very easy now, students. You can solve it by yourself. For sure, I am going to share the solution with you, but I am giving a time to solve it. If you want, you can pause the video and try to solve it by your own. So this is how we have to solve this question. First of all, we have to calculate the profits and gains from business or profession. So for that, first of all, I have written the sale proceeds of trade stock in trade. That was 6,50,000 given in the question. Then out of which I will deduct the cost of stock in trade. That was 4,50,000. So after deducting, I get the profit and gains. Then for the calculation of long-term capital gains, what I have done, first of all, I have written the value of consideration. That was cost of the stock in trade. That is 4,50,000. Then out of which I have computed the first of all I have deducted the indexed cost of acquisition. So how I have calculated the indexed cost of acquisition? Please see it in the bracket given that 50,000 was its initial cost, and out of which what I have done, I have multiplied it with 264 and divided it by the base rate, that was 109. So by which I get the amount, that is 1,21,101. So after deducting it, I got the amount of which is taxable under the head long-term capital gains. That is 3,28,889. So it is taxable under the long-term capital gains. Now let us solve another example, that is from short-term capital gains. Mr. C purchased a residential house on July 20, 2017 for rupees 10 lakh. So means it's a cost of acquisition amount, and made some additions to the house incurring 2 lakh rupees in August 2017. So it's a cost of improvement, right? He sold the house property in April 2019 for rupees 20 lakh. Out of the sale proceeds, he spent 5 lakh to purchase another house property in September 2019. What is the amount of capital gains taxable in the hands of Mr. C for the accounting year, that is 2020 and 2021? So students, this is a case of short-term capital gains. So this is a simple case, simple example which I can give you regarding this situation. So all the things are mentioned clearly: the purchase cost of acquisition, cost of improvement, and selling cost. All the things are mentioned here clearly. So I know you can solve this. So before moving to the solution, I request you all to pause the video and try to solve this by your own. So here is the solution for the given situation. I hope many of you have solved the question. If you are not able to solve the question, then don't worry. You can take the help of this solution. So as we have seen in the question that this asset has been acquired in July 2017 and sold it in April 2019. So the house is sold before 24 months from the date of purchase. So it's a case of short-term capital gain. and hence no exemption will be received on the purchase of another property which was given for rupees 5 lakh. So there is no exemptions which will be provided in this case. So how we have calculated the short term capital gain? It's a simple solution, like sale consideration given in the question, that is 20 lakh, then out of which I have deducted the amount of cost of acquisition, that is 10 lakh rupees, and cost of improvement rupees 2 lakh. So after deducting both of the amount, I got rupees 8 lakh. So this is the short term capital gains which will be taxable under the capital gain head. So isn't it a easy solution for you? Comparatively, if we compare it with the long term capital gain, so it is one of the easiest way. So here you don't have to work on like many calculating the index cost, then deducting it from the cost seal consideration. So you don't have to do something like that. So it's a very easy thing. If this question came in your exam, so you can easily solve this question. So students, that's all for today's session. So here is the question which is prepared from the today's lecture. You have to solve this question by your own. And if you in case if you face any difficulty in solving this, then please do let me know. Take help from my side. So I'll help you in solving this question. That is, RF converts his plot of land purchased in July 2003 for rupees 80,000 in his stock in trade on 31st March 2019. The fair value was as on 31st March 2019 was rupees 3 lakh. The stock in trade was sold for rupees 3 lakh 25,000 in the month of January to 2020. So what you have to do, you have to find out the taxable income, if any, and if so, under which head of income and for which assessment year. Here, cost of inflation index rate is given to you, that is for 2003-4 109, 2018-19 it's 280. So it's very easy now that you can solve this question with the help of cost inflation index. So just in case you face any difficulty, so you can contact me through the WhatsApp or anything which is preferable by you. So in next video we will continue in the unit 3 only. Thank you so much for your cooperation and your interest. Stay tuned for more videos.